What's up, guys and gals? My name is Splattercat, and we're here at the Nerd Castle for another episode of Craft the World. Right now, where we're at, we're crafting every single episode. I decided I was gonna make a deal with you guys. We would stretch out the series a little bit further by crafting one piece of the portal each day, but a problem we had run into in the previous episode, we had a lot of lag, like bad things had happened to our frame rate, and then all of a sudden the game died, which leads me to believe that it's using up a certain amount of memory on something it shouldn't be. Now, it happened after we put in the elevator. I don't know if the elevator is to blame, or it happened after an invasion as well, and so the two phenomena were so close to one another that it's difficult to distinguish the two between each other. Now, the doors... Where is my bed? Well, your bed is anywhere you want it to be, pal. Did a door get broken down somewhere? Doesn't appear to be the case. Where is my bed? As far as I can tell, we have that right there. Oh, you need another door. Somehow, where did the door go right there? Maybe they came through the back? Possibly. In any case, we've got to put a door in. So if your doors end up getting destroyed and you're confused why your dwarves won't sleep, bear that in mind. No, there was never a door there, was there? There was never a door at that position, so what's happening down here now? How come nobody's sleeping on this floor? Did it rearrange my sparklies on me? It did. It rearranged my sparklies on me. Now this one's yellow and this one's yellow, but it's not containing everything that I want it to contain. One of the ideas that I might suggest to the developer is that for each totem you have, you allow us to rubber band box, or like for each totem we get to choose 2 rooms that are closed off, like we just click them. Instead of this weird arbitrary system where it randomly decides where our base is. Unfortunately, like, why is this cut out right now? Because in the previous episode this was working. So I'm in a weird spot right now where I'm not sure how to fix this. Because that's still yellow. It's saying that this is an enclosed area. Weirdness abounds. Well then, since weirdness is abounding, I'm gonna jump straight to it as well because I don't want to feel left out. And what we'll do is we'll work on some other stuff. I'm just gonna heal him with potions at the moment because I don't really have time to sleep anyways. I'm trying to do interesting stuff in this episode, and sleeping is only interesting to the sleeper. Everybody else is pretty much bored by the experience. Give you one so that you'll stop complaining about being beat up and tired. I know that we just had a goblin invasion, and I know that we were just attacked by all manner of extraterrestrial or otherwise other dimensional beastie too. Where do we keep getting Yatagons from? Are they dropping? I think they're probably dropping out of those goblin hives. That's what it's gotta be. In any case, we've got like a large proportion of our force wielding enormous curved blades. I'd be scared to attack I'd be really, really scared to attack our city right now. I would reevaluate my thoughts on life if I had to make that decision, but maybe that's just me. We were gonna drop another elevator right here. So let's do that. We've got to get rid of that cobweb in order to make it work. And this might be just an absolutely miserable idea if the elevator is what's causing us to crash. We need another wheel. So let's craft ourselves a wheel first, so I don't have to worry about that later on. And does that need to be forged? It does. So we've got to wait for the wheel to be forged. Let's craft a couple of them then to make sure that we have a nice supply for later. And once that's well on its way, we'll take a look and figure out what other activities there are to entertain ourselves with. Obviously, we needed to make the second piece of the puzzle, so let's do that. I believe it was over here. So there's the second piece of the portal. What do we need for this? We need a little bit more steel. Luckily, we have plenty. Need another piece of gold, 2 stone, a mithril, a dark crystal, and what looks like a blue crystal. So we're actually changing colors here midway through. And so there goes the second piece. The whole thing is levitating. I'm not sure I trust an object that's being held together by invisible magic. I mean, magnetism, sure. Magnetism, I can say this word, I swear, I can make it through this enunciation. I believe magnetism is a force that we can't see, so maybe they're being held together by tiny magical magnets. I mean, it may as well be magic to me. Polarization, electrons, whatever. Now then, are my wheels done? Are they? Wheels? Art thou finished, wheel? Indeed, wheel is finished. That's both his name and what he is. His parents decided to keep it simple. We're going to equip some ropes. There we go. 3 more planks left, so it may be time for us to get some planking done. God, there is an internet fad that I don't miss. Okay, so we've got ourselves another elevator, which is already in our hotbar. That'll save us a bit of time. And let's locate the other ones. So the first shaft goes down to there, and right now they're free climbing. That is definitely not where I want that deployed. So it's going to be 1 over. Why does those position really oddly? Somebody already started to carry it down here. Let me slow down the gameplay a bit so that we don't have to worry about that happening again. I don't like the spacing on the elevator, how it's off. It's strange and it makes me sad. It makes my OCD twitch. We can still use it. It's not a huge deal. I think they did that on purpose so that it didn't occupy 2 spaces, but honestly, in my recommendation, just make it occupy 2 spaces and then shift it over. Make that the cost of doing business with an elevator, because as it stands right now, it looks weird to me, and it makes me feel odd. I'm going to put in some wood right there to make sure that doesn't... There we go. I mean, it looks weird, and it's centered on the middle right there. Like, I get what they did with it. Now that I'm looking at it in between blocks, they did that on purpose so it would only take up 1 space, but still, it's odd. It makes me feel weird. I should probably fix that right there, too. But I'll leave it wide open for now. We'll just put 1 right there to keep it nice and sealed off, and then the rest of this can be open chasm, since we've got to mine it anyways. There we are. Mining away! That's the call of the dwarves. That's what they like to say when they start mining. It's sort of the up in a way, like Superman used to call out. It's, you know, mine away! You have to say that if you're a mining superhero. That seems like a terrible power. The ability to mine at the speed of light. I mean, I'm sure somebody at BP would love them, but everybody else would just be like, that is a really mundane, lame power. Like, you gotta think about your luck in life if you end up with a superpower that basically just makes you do a shitty job faster. That's if your superpower just optimizes a terrible job, it's not really a superpower, I don't think. It'd be like, I am able to collate at massive speeds. My stapler's fury knows no bounds. Awful. Absolutely awful. Let's get rid of some of these extra scaffolds over here since they're all refusing to use them anyways. Get rid of those extra mining jobs. His pathfinding appears to have broken on us. We seem to be having a long-running issue with pathfinding in this game. The finding of the paths does not appear to occur to any of our dwarves. They try. They do their best. They really do. They're like, I would love to find a path today, and it's right underfoot, but they're not elves. Elves are the guys that find paths for you. Dwarves, on the other hand, build the paths, destroy the paths, and make war on the paths, and also sometimes get drunk on the paths. That's the other thing that they do, but their PR firm, they try and keep a lowdown on that because dwarves have been catching a lot of flack lately about being bad fathers and like drunken sods, so, you know, they've been trying to downplay it recently. Let's put in some bricks down here, some wooden walls anyways, so it's a little bit easier for people to escape from this nasty little crevasse. And then we'll mine that out. And in order to be even right there, I would need to place floors all throughout this location, but first we're gonna put in torches. So let's drop some torches. We'll mine our way into here. I would like to fight a dragon before we leave here. I would love to fight a dragon. Now, I don't know if I'm prepared, if it's one of those Illidan type situations where he's like, you are not prepared. But in any case, I would like to be prepared. I would love to hit REI and get all of the gear that I need to make sure that I am prepared for my adventure. Shameless corporate plug right there. Although I don't think REI is weird. They send me money back. Like, I've never seen a company that when you shop there, they mail you money back. That's one of those, I don't understand it. All I know is every year REI is like, here's 25 bucks. And I'm like, oh, cool. I spent 25 bucks at your store, so that sort of makes it worth it. Kind of a cool, interesting idea for the company. But then again, I only go to REI anymore when I need biodegradable toilet paper. Speaking of which, don't use normal toilet paper when you're out in nature. It doesn't melt the way it's supposed to. It's meant to melt when, like, put in urine. But unfortunately, if you, like, dig a latrine and you use that out in the wilds, it's not gonna, like, it doesn't disintegrate the way you would think it would. You've got to buy the special kind that disintegrates in nature all on its own. And even then, it takes a while. You would be surprised. I mean, anytime I go hiking, I feel like I find someone else's duke with my foot. It's just like, well, and there's something so much worse about stepping in a human's refuse than there is about, like, a dog's or anything else. Oh, it's so much worse. It's so much worse. Although, I hope that that person gets at least some amount of humor out of it, like he's like, hey, I pooped there and somebody stepped in it. So if that's you, where you've left yourself a sissy pasca out in the middle of nowhere, that's Finnish for... that's Finnish for commando shit, in case you were wondering. At least I think that. I have a Finnish friend, and he said that's what they call it when you go to the bathroom out in the wild and you bury it. They call it a sissy pasca. We call it a slide mine. So anyways... Oh, that's a really disgusting moniker now that I think about it, but it's still hilarious because that's exactly what happens when you step on one. But anyways, let's find something to do down in here before I get off on any other feces-related diatribes. God, I try and keep myself highbrow here at the Nerd Castle, and I've noticed I've been slipping lately. I really, really have. And it's not because I've ever been highbrow in real life, so I want you to realize that. It's just one of those little... Why aren't people putting these down? Oh, it's because they can't get back in there. That's the problem. I put down that sign. That's what's blocking off all of the work down here. They can't get past this. That's Splattercat just being an idiot right there. That's all my fault. I didn't mean to, but that's just how it kind of came out. That sounds like something a birthing doctor would say as an excuse, like if the birth didn't go the way. It wasn't supposed to come out that way, I'm sorry. The baby comes out and does like a triple front flip, bounces off the wall, it's like, wah! If my baby flew out like at that speed and then hit the wall and bounced back and said hoo-wah, like his first word was hoo-wah, I was like, oh my god, we just had a baby Bruce Lee and this is gonna be amazing. This is gonna be the best thing ever. We need to sign him up for karate classes right this second. Let's get on that. Suppose if babies are pretty durable, that's one of the things that I've noticed about little kids is they're way more durable than adults are. Like my cousin, when we were kids, I was probably like 13 or 14 and I was playing football with my cousin and I threw a pass that kind of went like off to the left and sort of missed. And he ended up sprinting and he wasn't paying attention. He ran headlong into the mailbox and it was a sturdy mailbox. This was a mailbox of note. And it knocked him unconscious and he woke up and he just bounced right back and started playing catch again. Didn't cry or anything. Had a big old dent in his head. Little kids are durable. Or if you wanted a more personal example, for me, I grew up with siblings. And I grew up with a cousin as well who was always over at my house. This is a different cousin, by the way. This is my older cousin. And my older cousin enjoyed beating up his younger cousins. That was one of his main pastimes. Like, he really, really enjoyed it. And that's cool. I was an older sibling, so I get it. It's all about, you gotta make the pecking order around the house. You gotta make it known that you're the biggest and the oldest and the smartest and the baddest, and you just gotta make it work out that way. Now, my cousin, this is kind of a tit for tat type situation. But anyways, telling this story now. Let's get back to it. My cousin was chasing me with a pool cue. Let's not ask how we got there, but he was chasing me with a pool cue trying to hit me with it. I can't remember if I did something to deserve it, but I have to assume that if somebody's trying to beat you with a pool cue, you probably deserved it in some respect. Well, we were on the second floor of a building, and so there's probably like 22 steps to get down to the first floor. Well, I was running from him, but I ran out of hallway. And that becomes a major problem. Running out of hallway is a scary thing because then you got no more purchase. How are you gonna run and increase your speed? So anyways, I jumped off in order to avoid my cousin's wrath with the pool cue. I jumped off the stairs and I tried, you know how when you're a kid you jump over like the last 7 stairs and you get a bunch of air and you're like, yeah, that was awesome. Well, I just assumed that I could do it over 22 stairs and I ended up breaking my tailbone. And so it goes both ways. It's not just me who wounded my little cousin. My older cousin wounded me before that. And so it's kind of a process where you wound your own family members because it's a wounding of love. Anyways, back to the point. Let's make sure that we're working on something here because I feel like I've just been panning around looking at things and talking, which is a little embarrassing because sometimes I get caught up with myself. I haven't fiddled with this over here yet. I really want to figure out why this is not working properly, but I suppose I could remove the totem and redeploy the totem and then see if he's yellow or if his status didn't swap due to some bug. I'm sure the answer is staring me right in the face right now, but we'll get somebody on that. And on this side, we've pretty much mined out everything there is to be mined here. We'll get started on all of these goodies that are hiding in the background, and we'll also get started on all of this. I'm gonna put a portal in right there to make that go a bit quicker. We'll mine the topsies off of there. Put in some torches so I can see, because I can't see worth ass right now. And asses can't see at all, so not being able to see worth ass, I mean, the ass does have an eye, but it's not an eye that's capable of seeing. It's kind of it's another construct. It's a construct for a different purpose. A sphincter. I learned the word sphincter from, let's see, the first time I heard the word sphincter was Quest for Glory 4 when I was a kid. That's where I learned what a sphincter was, and I remember the distinct look on my mom's face when I asked her what a sphincter was. Definitely one of those questions you don't expect your 8-year-old to ask you, like, Mom, what is a sphincter? And then my mom is a medical professional, and so she's one of those people that then has very specific answers as to what a sphincter is, and so she can't really back out of the question at all. And so I learned what a sphincter is. I don't remember who it was that said sphincter the first time. It was somebody deep-voiced and British. It was whoever voiced over Quest for Glory 4. I can't remember his name now. It's the guy that played... He played Gimli in The Lord of the Rings. I can't remember his name now. I'm having a giant brain fart right now, and this is a horrible brain fart to have because it's an embarrassing one. It's one that draws testament away from my nerdiness, unfortunately. I will remember it in just a moment. I don't know why my brain keeps saying James Earl Jones, because I know for a fact it's not James Earl Jones. Obviously, it's not James Earl Jones, but you know how sometimes when you're trying to think of somebody's name, and all you can do is think of somebody else's name, which obviously isn't the right answer? I hate that phenomena. We need to come up with a name for that phenomena. I propose that we call it the Freeman Phenomena because I'm a selfish bastard and I just want to name things after myself, but, you know, if you've got a better name for it, go for it. Now then, in this tunnel, this mining is getting a little inconvenient. Looks like there is more mining to be done off in this direction, though, for some extra coal, and where there's coal, there's often other things that we can get at. I did get the chance, I haven't told you guys, but I did get the chance to try out 7 Days to Die, and as of right now, I don't see that as being a main series that I'm thinking about playing through, simply because there's not a whole lot left in the game at the moment, and plus, I really hate the homing zombies. The homing zombies piss me off. I'm not gonna sugarcoat that at all. The homing zombies make me angry as hell. Like, there's no way those guys can just magically find me out in the middle of nowhere. It's just one of those weird... I hate tower defense games, and so it feels too much like tower defense to me. And so now I back away from it. Let's worry about ourselves over on the left here. We haven't messed around on the left nearly at all. And I haven't seen a whole lot of... God, those things look terrifying. I mean, they're sort of non-threatening in like a Pokemon-type way, but I've seen the attacks that Pokemon can throw out, and that makes me really, really nervous as to the capabilities of that particular... dragon. Additionally, if we get hit, we might fall into the lava, and I'd like to avoid any casualties that involve falling down into lava. We're not going to turn this into a Terminator 2 type moment. We're not going to Schwarzenegger our way out of this thing. We might consider digging on this side to see if we unearth anything of value, just based on basic illumination. There is some coal back in here, so I may assign somebody to dig a little bit. But up until then, it doesn't appear as though there's a lot to focus on. We'll put a portal down there so that things go a little bit more rapidly. We'll kill off that spider, because spiders have no place here. Absolutely no place. We don't have a yellow jacket problem. We don't have a problem with any bug at the moment, so spiders, stay away right this second. He's chopping down bushes right there. I should craft some more stuff, because the name of the game is Craft the World, and I haven't been doing a whole lot of world crafting lately. I've been talking a lot and messing around with things that I shouldn't be messing around with. So let's have a look-see. And we can make an apple pie. Can she bake a cherry pie? No, neither can I. I love old show tunes. I'm a sucker for old show tunes. I don't know why. It's one of those things that it's a guilty pleasure for me, but old show tunes, for some reason, I like them very, very much. You get 10 pies for every single one of those that you make. That is a pretty good oh, you've got to craft them. That is gonna suck. That is gonna take forever. I wish I hadn't queued up that many. Can I stop that? No, it's already too late. It has a feeding ratio of 2. It's not very good for you then, so it's not nutritious. It means we've got to be using it all the time. Invigorates the dwarves and they run faster. Oh, so that doesn't even feed them properly. Never mind then. I should probably make some more grilled meat. Let's do that too. Got lots of leaves sitting around. We've got extra coal, so that'll work out. Lots of cooking to be done, so somebody is going to be putting on their fanciful chef hat. I've always wondered why they made the chef hat look the way it is. Like, who decided that it was going to be a long cylindrical hat with a ploof on the end with little slats cut in it? Like, at what point, like, you would assume it has some utilitarian value, and yet, maybe I just don't know what it is because I'm not a chef. I have 2 chefs in my family who are no longer chefing because apparently chefing is not a lucrative business to be in. They are both chefs, though. One of them is a chef who specializes... Every chef, if you don't know how chefs work, every chef specializes in something. One of them is a chef who specializes in bakery goods, pastries, as I recall, pies and pastries, and the other is a specialist in fish. And so my uncle, who is one of the chefs, he can cut a piece of salmon so thin that you can see through it. It's amazing. It's an art. It's a piece of art, really. You feel it's a little bit shameful eating it afterwards, but then again, it's not because it tastes delicious. But anyways, off my chefing diatribe right now. I call it chefing. I like to verbalize things, which is where I take them and I make a verb out of them. Verbalizing, not necessarily the use of the word that's proper. Oh, he's carrying 3 pies on his back. That's the job that I would want. If I was a dwarf and I had to pick a job, pie carrying would be the one that I would pick. Not fighting the baddies, not digging, not doing anything that required any type of musculature. Pie carrying. That's the job right there. And I would charge for my job in pies, and it would work out amazingly. Let's go back to our dwarf menu and make sure we don't have anybody that could possibly use clicking, or not. Oh, and I got stuck right there. Hopefully it didn't get stuck on, sometimes I don't know, this game likes to stop on me and then resume whatever it was doing. And so sometimes mid-episode, I don't know if you guys see like a fluid picture right there, the stuff continues working for you, because fraps, what I see is that the screen just freezes and I sit here for a moment of terror, just wondering if my episode has been ruined. And that's why I'm probably going to have heart problems in the next few years. We've got a fisherman's book. Let's find a fisher. There we are. And so now the fisher has been filled with book learning. We need to craft ourselves some more potions, so we'll probably get started on that too. I'm gonna wait. I don't want too many people in my society crafting things at any given moment, because what I found is that then the work does not get done. Now with this tunnel that we dug at the bottom of the screen, unfortunately it hasn't found anything for us. That's a bit of a letdown, but it's not too big of a deal. We should probably make somebody a mage. What do you guys think about that? Let's make somebody a mage. And hopefully there's a stability patch soon, because right now you guys aren't seeing it on your screen, but it is being super laggy for me. The game keeps threatening to close on me. I may stop the episode early, just in the interest of saving my own time in case this crashes. So yeah, that's what I'm gonna do. It's really, really lagging for me. My name is Splattercat. Thank you for joining me at the Nerd Castle. I'm gonna keep an eye out for patch notes related to this, and I will see you in the next episode. Take care out there, everybody. There went the crash right there. I'm gonna splice in some video, and I'll see you in the next episode. Bye, guys.